Hey, babe. You made it home just ahead of the storm. Good timing. Oh, hello. How was work? Ah, well, at least it's over. Yeah, I've been watching the radar. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning for the next 2 hours, but they're saying it'll rain through tomorrow morning. If the power goes out, we'll be ready. I have the weather radio, batteries, flashlights, and candles handy, and we still have plenty of leftovers from yesterday's dinner, so if we lose power, we can just reheat that over the gas stove, and we have plenty of stuff in the pantry that doesn't need cooking. Ooh, look. Yeah, lightning over that way. Yep, about 1.5 miles out. Go inside and put your work stuff down. Change your clothes if you want. I figured we'd get cozy out here on the porch swing, have a hot drink, and enjoy it as it passes. At least until it gets too nasty to be outside. Does that sound good? Okay, awesome. Do you want cocoa, tea, or coffee? All right, I've got the water boiled already. It won't take long. I already brought the grill and lawn furniture into the garage, by the way. It looks like we'll be getting quite a bit of wind. Was there anything else you wanted to tie down or bring inside? Okay, sounds good. Oh, babe, on your way back out here, will you unplug our computers in the office, just in case we get a power surge? Thank you, I love you. Okay, here we are. Your drink awaits. You're welcome. I'm going to grab this blanket for us. Oh, thanks for getting the door. Got your phone? Oh, yeah. I'll hold your drink while you tuck the blanket around us. Thank you. Okay, I'm pulling up radar scope on my phone so we can see the innards of this thing. You want to pull up the National Weather Service radar so we can compare? Cool. Yeah, I prefer this app. I even paid the yearly subscription so I can see the real-time lightning strikes and whatnot. Look, I think this little lightning strike is the one we saw a few minutes ago. Ooh, that was a big one. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Yep, about 1/2 mile away. Gosh, I think I learned that counting trick back in grade school. 5 Mississippis between a lightning strike and the sound of thunder means it struck roughly 1 mile away. This is where the fun begins. Yeah, I'm glad we're getting the storm too. Not just because we both enjoy them so much, but also because we desperately need the rain. The most intense storm I've ever been in? Okay. Remember how I told you I did an internship down south for a year right out of college? So, I'm living there. It's a normal day at the office and a beautiful day outside. Blue skies, sunny, the slightest breeze, generally a perfect spring day. At about 3 p.m., all of our phones start going off with one of those emergency alerts, severe thunderstorm warning, and they're predicting high winds, dangerous hail, frequent lightning, torrential rain, the whole 9 yards. So we all crowd around the windows and have a look outside, and it's still beautiful out, so we're pretty confused. Then one of the managers pops around the side of the building and sees this massive storm cloud about 5 miles away from us, so he runs back in to turn on the TV so we can stay up to date on the storm. My coworker immediately calls her daughters to see if they made it home from school, which luckily they did, But the girls were freaked out because the storm was right over them, and they were saying the hail falling in their backyard was softball sized. Yeah. So the managers had a quick little meeting because the storm's headed right for us, but it's moving slowly, and they decide that if the storm doesn't fizzle out within half an hour, they'll send everyone home early so that the majority of us can be home before it hits. Not 5 minutes after that meeting, our phones start buzzing again. Tornado warning. Yeah. No, I wasn't freaked out. It was still 5 miles away from us, and honestly, I felt a little bad, but I was loving the drama and adrenaline. On account of the tornado warning, we all got sent home ASAP. Like I said, the storm was moving really slowly, and they said we'd have at least an hour before it hit us. I lived only 15 minutes away, so on my way home, I stopped by the store to grab some batteries, duct tape, and dinner. Yep, duct tape. Well, I lived in an apartment that required extra monthly payment if you wanted to park under a carport, and I didn't have that kind of money at the time, but I also knew I didn't have money to replace a broken windshield if we had super damaging hail. So, I arrived home with about half an hour to spare, and I used that time to cover up my windshield. Yeah, I had this big old box that my bookshelf had come in, and I flattened it down, cut it in half, wrapped it up in blankets, and duct taped it over my windshield and rear window. I got some looks from the neighbors, but whatever. Then I went inside, switched on the local weather channel, sat on my balcony within earshot, and just enjoyed the storm. Oh no, it was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life, but also one of the most fun. We didn't get hit with a tornado in my city, thank goodness, and the hail was more golf ball sized when it got to us, but we had downed power lines, broken branches, a ton of standing water, and a lot of hail damage to most cars in the parking lot. Except mine. But in the worst of it, the raw power of nature was just awe-inspiring and formidable and incredible. The lightning flashing everywhere several times a second. Thunder crashing around us so intensely that I literally felt it inside my chest, and a few times my arm hair stood on end. Gosh. It was just amazing. Yeah, I'm glad I made it out too. Ooh, that was a good one. Here, lift your arm. I want to snuggle in closer. That's better. So, I was reading about lightning storms the other day, and I ended up going down a rabbit hole about superbolts. Yep. They can be anywhere from 3 to 100 times more powerful in both brightness and voltage than a regular lightning bolt. Crazy, right? They tend to be more rare, though, which I suppose is pretty lucky because they do some crazy damage. I found some insane eyewitness accounts, too. One that kind of blew my mind was a superbolt that hit a ship called the HMS Rodney back in 1838. It had a 800-pound wooden mast, and when it got hit, it was essentially converted to sawdust. Sailors on the ship said it looked like carpenters had just swept their shavings overboard and into the sea. Oh, there was another one that I took a screenshot of, too. This story was nuts. Listen to this. On April 2nd, 1959, the residents of a rural area near Leland, Illinois, reported a tremendous flash of lightning and thunder so loud it shook many houses, breaking windows, knocking flower pots off sills, and scattering loose objects. Many homeowners assumed that their own house had been directly hit, but the bolt had actually hit an open field 3/4 of a mile from the nearest home. A hole 7 to 12 feet in diameter and more than a foot deep had been carved in a cornfield. Isn't that insane? Ah, gosh. I'm so glad you're a nerd about this stuff, too. I really love watching storms with you. Quit our jobs and become storm chasers? Honestly, I'm down. I've always wanted to be a storm chaser, ever since I watched Twister as a kid. It's the very best natural disaster movie. No. 2012 was just okay. And besides, that one was less extreme weather and more earthquakes and such. To which point, Dante's Peak is king over geological disaster movies. No, Volcano was just eh. Ooh, San Andreas was good. And I'm not just saying that because The Rock was in it. It genuinely was good. But again, still not extreme weather in those movies. Into the Storm was tolerable. I'd watch that again. The Day After Tomorrow. Ah, perfection. The premise wasn't super plausible, but the effects were excellent for 2004, and it's one of the few movies I love to rewatch. Probably because it didn't take itself too seriously. It's got just the right amount of cheese to make it palatable. Look, I will watch literally any natural disaster movie once, no matter how bad. I crave the Earth Destructo garbage, and I'm not ashamed of that. I've had to suffer through some seriously bad movies as a result, but I've also found some gems. What? What are you laughing about? Babe, I swear to God, if the word Sharknado comes out of your mouth... Ooh. Okay, yeah, we better go inside. It's getting nasty. Ooh, and the rain is coming in sideways. Ah! Let's go. You got everything? Okay. Ugh, that was a bit damp. Well, the porch is a bust on account of sideways precipitation, but we can continue our snuggling on the couch if you're game. I'd love to. Yep, I'm cozy. You? Good. I may end up falling asleep like this. This is perfect.